Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the Roach Wiggle, June 27th, 2024. We are almost to July. Welcome, Joseph, Jojo, Laura Taylor, Aquarimax, Chain, Hyperbeam, LC, Alan, Michael Bradley, Steven. Welcome, everybody. Hit that like button. Yes, thank you very much. Here we are. 2 weeks later. I can't believe it's been 2 weeks already. Is it on? Should be streaming. Alan asks, is it on? We should be going. Can everybody hear me? Am I coming through loud and clear? Anybody? It's working for me. All right, perfect. That's all I need to hear. Welcome to Braden. Welcome to you. Oh, it's on. No, it's not. I can't do horror. There is echo or something, or just me. I don't know. The mic's in the same place as always, and I don't know. Everybody else coming through fine. Eric Matthews, hello. Audio is fine. Oh, okay. Straighten out this enclosure. We're entering the hard times, everybody. But is Kyle fine? Kyle's not fine. Let me start by saying I had a lovely time at the wedding last weekend. It was a wonderful experience, very relaxing, beautiful views, etc. Now I deal with the pieces. We can tell by your hair. That's great. It's the giveaway. A month ago or something, I had mentioned to everybody that the Wiggles days were numbered. We're coming up on the move, and I think that time is very soon, within the next couple of weeks. Here's the updates. We've almost all the auction orders are gone out. There's a couple with just some asterisks. A couple people picking them up in person, whatnot. So that's clearing up. So I gotta, for Roach Crossing purposes, I'm going to schedule a Please Help Me, I'm Going Insane auction for the back half of July, just to get some funds for some stuff, like the moving truck and whatever general stuff, pay the next mortgage, blah, blah, blah. Angel and I go to Arizona. I'm not even sure if that's happening yet. And more news is Kim's wife, Christine, she started having some retinal tearing or something like that, something that was causing loss of vision and stuff like that. They thought they took care of it. It keeps happening over and over again. So she's going to actually end up having, I believe, more and maybe more major surgery soon. So Kim and Christine are actually canceling their Arizona trip and probably are not going again until 2027, if they can, if they even can. So, so Angel and I was going to kind of be a pseudo honeymoon for us, and I don't know if we can do that now. The main reason was going to see Kim and taking some time off, and now Kim's not going, and it seems our time is going to be better spent here. Angel and I have worked out that we're going to start the moving in process. This is a little complicated because we have not heard from the township on things that we're going to do, but we need to sell this house this fall, and we're going to try and do anything that we can to do that. So we need to start moving stuff out of this house anyways. So things are on July 19th. We're taking the first truckloads of stuff from here to Angela's, plants, non-vital supplies, stuff that I have stored in my attic. All of that stuff is leaving this house and going there. We are meeting with the township on Monday, July 1st. They have informed me that they're changing the animal ordinances for the township. They wanted me to be present, wanted us to be present to be there. I don't know if they want input, if they just want to make it aware, like, hey, we're changing things, and everything's going to be worse for you. So we wanted to let you know that you'll be in on the ground floor of things being worse, or maybe things will be more lenient. I don't know. So we actually have a meeting 10 a.m. July 1st. So that's moving, and I will feel a lot more comfortable moving everything forward after we get that meeting done with and everybody's on the same page. LC says, you know what the July action will be before the 19th. If you don't know, it's fine. Probably after the 19th. And I'm going to try something new this time. I'll probably try and make the auction on a weekend or on like a Friday night or something like that. So it probably won't be July 19th because that's the moving day. And I'm going to need a little bit. It might be the last weekend in July. And I'm going to try to pack everything in shipping containers like the day before, so that basically what'll happen is as people bid and win, I will just write that person's name on there. There'll be some alterations to the standard rules that say like, oh, you gotta contact me the day of the bidding or whatever, just so that we can move this process along very quickly, so that basically by that upcoming week I could get those auction orders out, because I am getting exhausted with auction orders. That last auction was just way too much for me. I appreciate all the patronage, but it's taken almost 3 months to get a handle on all of that. So that's what we're looking at. Probably do a 100-item auction. It'll have some tasty stuff. Yeah, so that's what we're sort of looking at with that stuff. Again, the Please Help Me, I'm Going Insane auction for July, and we're moving. And again, I've said that the Roach Wiggles days are numbered because we're getting into like the actual move. I need to find, after Monday, I can start looking for somebody to build the building and get that going once we figure out what we can and can't do. And it's going to be too much very soon. Even just an hour, it's still time. I have to sit down and stop doing some things and whatnot. And yeah, I think I might try and keep everybody posted with some shorts. Maybe I'll do some streams while I'm poking around and doing stuff in here. But the fact of the matter is everything's just going to go crazy. I looked into fencing prices today, and almost everything that we need is out of budget if I get it done through a contractor. So I'm looking into doing it myself, not the fancy chain link that I was thinking of before. Not fancy, just regular chain link, but braided wire. We definitely need braided wire. Hello, Loki, Eric Matthews, Anthony Green. A lot of people popping in to say hi after the 2 weeks of not being around here. But anyways, if anybody, I know there's a couple of people here who might have something to say about this, but it's looking like the only way I'm going to get things done this year and reasonably priced is if I do it myself, or maybe I have somebody else do something like the posts and then I go and put the fencing up, or I don't know. I love working with cattle panels. They're just not tall enough for the dogs to guarantee, for emus too. So I don't want to do a live wire above the cattle panel fencing. I don't want to do that. That's just too many working parts for me. So it needs to be 6-foot fencing. So I was looking at the braided wire, and Samson was telling me termite mountain fence. That's funny. Samson was telling me that the braided wire is very difficult to work with solo. I have no experience with it. Hello, Tennyson. Braided wire is very difficult to work with solo, and that I would probably still have to hire somebody. Even if I bought the materials for the braided wire, I'd still have to buy somebody to install it. I'm wondering what our future crazy neighbor across the street, Mark, can say. He seems to do a lot of projects. He just had a shed or something built at the front of his property. Hello, Jordan Henderson. Welcome to a Kyle stream. A kind of a not really depressing one. It's a stressful stream. I should have edited the description for this episode. I was always a carefree. It's very full of care today. there's just so much going on. A person says, glad I could catch his stream. We seem tired. I hope the house stuff isn't going to be, it's going to be very hard on me. This is going to be the single most hardest event that I'm planning to do in my life. Who knows what crazy stuff will come up in the future. But as far as things that I'm getting myself into, this is the single biggest thing that, the single biggest project I will do in my life is all of this, and it's got to happen. Loki, I would love. I'm. We got to see how everything goes this year, but I'm eyeballing a West Texas trip for 2026. It's going to take a lot of planning. There's so much stuff out there, and everything has to be very meticulously figured out and mapped because of how much private property there is in Texas. So it's not just going to be as easy as an Arizona trip or something like that. But I do appreciate anybody who offers lodging for those sort of things. Single biggest enclosure that he's ever made. Yep, that's another part of it. It's going to be a big old enclosure. But yeah, I not that I'm going to even be doing it once. It's going to be twice. I have to make the really big one around the where the livestock are going, and then I need to make another one for the vegetable garden of this size. Can roaches eat tomatoes? I have so much in my garden, says LC. Yeah, if they'll snack on it, try offering to. Wow, I really do look tired. It's this is stress, guys. It is a gigantic weight on my back right now, and I already came to terms with it's not going away anytime soon. So, a person said, well, in that case, I hope you don't get too many unpleasant surprises along the way. I'm hoping we're front loaded on unpleasant surprises. I'm hoping the unpleasant surprise was the city not smiling and nodding at everything I said when I sent them the first email. I'm hoping that was the unpleasant surprise, and everything else from here is just going to be how much money and time needs to be dumped into things. 8 acres takes a little planning, says Zen Monkey. We're not even fencing in 8 acres. I think we're fencing in. We need 6-foot fencing around about 1 acre off the back of the barn. We need 6-foot fencing around, I want to say half an acre. That's less than half an acre. Maybe like 2/5 of an acre, 6-foot fencing. And then we need some decorative, like aluminum fencing up near, for the ornamental garden up near the house, which is another issue because it's not properly graded. Well, it's properly graded, but it's not the grading that I need. It's sloping downwards. I need a more level area there. So we probably have to get some fill dirt there, and then I'm going to have to even it out or use an excavator or something like that. There's just so much stuff. Jordan asked, wait, I'm out of the loop. What's going on? I'm moving to the final location, and we're just dealing with all the caveats with that and what needs to be done. Craigslist might be your friend for the fencing. I forgot about that. At least Kyle won't need to worry about the 8-acre enclosure drying out. That's funny. Ventilation is a bit high, though. Good humor in this time. Steve Logan says, Roach question, forgot the story on what's different about the Nocticola species versus the other Nocticola. The University Park was collected, I think, 2 years ago in University Park, Florida, under a rock in a rather unassuming area. And the other Nocticola was collected supposedly in a tree hollow in Malaysia. So very different locations. Speaking of which, Stephen Logan, I think you probably got my text. Your box did go out today. Loki, I was unable to finish up yours, but it will go out tomorrow. There's one other person's, one of the Devons went out today. The other Devon is going out tomorrow. Fright Night says, I finally caught a live stream. Welcome, Fright Night. I don't recognize your name, so if this is your first one, welcome. Have some of us fellow bug lovers come out here and help you with it. You've got problems, tons of people willing to fly out and get a hotel. Oh, there's so much to ask of people. It's more, I mean, here's the thing is, with enough money you throw at something, the problem goes away. So I guess if I did a donation pool, the thing is, my dad offered to buy the fencing for the vegetable garden area as a wedding gift to Angela and I, and because we wanted to grow produce and all this other stuff. So that's kind of still on the table. Um, that would save me a lot of time and money if I just went along with that. I need to see how much space that is, and before all this, we also need all the trees and stuff cut down, most of the trees cut down, and all the old fence posts and all that other stuff removed from the property, which is just going to be another thing. There's so much that needs to be done, and yeah, things are crazy. We need to get the animal fencing up first and foremost so we can move them. And again, guys, I've been talking about all this stuff for months. It's just stressful that we're into July and we're starting this, and muslin alone will be expensive per acre, says Brain. Do we know where in Malaysia they came from? Alan asked about the nocticola. I think you might have to ask somebody like TJ. He might have more information on that. I don't think we do, though. Free fencing gets dumped on Craigslist all the time. Now, you see, here's the thing. It's not the fencing that's going to be expensive. It's the labor. It's primarily the labor that's going to be expensive. So that's the thing, is if we're able to clear everything out of that site and I can do the work of putting fence posts in and stuff like that and working with that braided wire, that would save us a lot. But it's just, I think I really need to find a company out there that specializes in agricultural use fencing and go from there. Friday says, you have an awesome dad there, man. Yes, I am very grateful for that. I guess I should not. I just don't want him to spend too much money on something like this, although a metal chain link fencing will last forever, basically. So, but it's just the labor and stuff like that. But we got to see, first thing, most important for aesthetics and whatnot, is we got to get the trees cut down. There's stuff at the back of the pasture and that needs to be cut, trees that fell over and died, and all these things. Are you going to use the trees that are in the way of substrate? Oh yes, 100%. I told the person who's coming out to give us a quote on Monday, I think, if he's available, that we want all the mulch left on site, and hopefully they can get it into one big old pile. That would be really cool. What is the story on why Uricois Licks is not Licks anymore? Basically, they don't actually match the holotype for Lixa, and they weren't actually collected at the place that Lixa were collected in Florida, which was, I think, Key West. So we don't actually, as of the last time I had discussed this with some Roach people, that actual Lixa are much smaller and a different color than what we have. But we don't know what we have either, so... but there's only 2 Uricotis recorded from the Keys, was Floridana and Lixa, I believe. So, but also Florida's notorious for having all kinds of unreported roaches. Like, there's nocticola in Florida. The state of Florida does not even know that. So, pay people in roaches, says Loki. If only regular people took that as payment. Zen Monkey says, remember, it is a marathon. It's a sprint. I have a plan to be done by Thanksgiving. No stress. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, we're just on this time crunch from every end. The main thing is we want to sell this house this fall. We kind of have to do that to pay for the bug building. And because, housing market shenanigans and whatnot, it's better to sell in the fall, and we're just waiting for that bubble to pop in some way. And it's another mortgage to be paying, having this house here. So it's just a lot of stress and a lot of be aware of all things at all times, and it's not very fun. What's the length by width you are planning for the bug building, says William Yadeski. Just a rectangle, and it needs to be a minimum 2,000 square feet, but we got to see what the township will let us do for accessory buildings. I think we have 2,500 square feet to play with, but we're going to see what they're going to do, if they're going to let us get a variance on the property or something like that. it's 7.5 acres, and it's long and narrow is the thing. So bringing college students for community service hours. Going to give him a stress-induced stroke. If it's going to happen, if I'm going to have an infarction or some sort of fits, it's going to happen within the next 6 months. I'll tell you that much. Are you going to need to have someone do bug maintenance for you while focusing on house construction? Fortunately, the house is built. The house is fine. It's beautiful. I fell in love with it the first time I went over there to visit Angela's dad. So at the very least, we have a absolutely lovely house to live in that needs very little work. Other than one thing we want to change with getting the bathroom remodeled on the main floor. We could live without it. We just will not be. Our lives will not be as good without that bathroom being remodeled. So, anyways, so that's good. I'm glad about that. It's just all this other stuff in the time crunch, Satchel asking what's up. That's a very good question. Lots of things, Satchel. You may have to go back and rewatch stuff, but the gears are moving. We are moving. We're starting it, and we got a bunch of stuff on our plate for the next month. Already scheduled, and who knows how many more things are going to turn up again. Monday, I got to be at that meeting for the township, and then by 2 p.m., meeting starts at 10. Hopefully it doesn't go too long in a good way. By 2 p.m., I may need to be back at that house to have the person out for the tree removal estimate and all that stuff. Folks, you need to watch this on a big screen. Biggest TV you can find. Zoom in on Kyle's face. Also hit the like button. Please don't zoom in on me. That's too much attention right now. I'm glad I'm wearing a halfway decent and relevant shirt with my Department of Unauthorized Forestry shirt. Staying in the same state you're in now, yes. We're in Michigan. It's about 45-ish minutes away. I wanted to go south. It's north. I'm fine with it. I'll just deal. It's whatever. Satchel, I forgive you for not finding the Euthalastoblata on your trip. 3 unidentified Parkoblata, though. That's pretty nifty. But yeah, we're gonna get into the chaos incarnate, and if the wiggle must end, if the wiggle is ending, I will announce it on the Discord, and I also that's another thing, the website. Don't even know. I'm gonna have an infarction. On the current website, I will update the homepage to say, thanks everybody. The Roach Wiggle is ending. ... For now, stay tuned, and it will be a happy day when it picks up. It will be an ecstatic day when it picks up again. Honestly, that would mean a lot of stuff is taken care of. Long live the Wiggle. Yeah, it's with almost 3-year run of every week, and yeah, it'll be sad to see it. It's coming back. It's coming back. I know. I love you guys. We've built such a lovely audience here. Maybe again, if the boots on the ground happen sooner than later with the property, we could be back. I may just pick up the phone and stream. We got to work on getting better internet out there, actually. See if we can get fiber or something, because it's not the best out there. It's definitely not the best. I mean, if something's wired in, it's going to be better, but wireless is not the best. Zen Monkey was talking about getting a wireless repeater or something if we needed to use the Wi-Fi for both the Roach building as well as the house, but we got to see. This could all be for naught. On Monday again, they could tell me that they could really, really actually tell me to kick rocks on Monday, although it sounds like they don't intend to do that, but I don't know what to expect. We've been going this whole process for almost 2 months now, and it pains me to say that. It pains me it's taken 2 months just to get a yay or nay on this stuff, because that's not the timetable I'm looking to operate at. But my lord, I hope it'll all be worth it. I hope Roach building, house, all this stuff, and that the Roach Wiggle will keep growing when it comes back and all this stuff. What are you going to do if they won't give you a variant, says Satchel. We hit the panic button in that case. So what we got to do then is we need to move everything to Angela's place, which again, everything we got pretty much is fine to just get there. It's about continuing operations and the scale of operations. So in the worst case scenario, what must happen? This house must sell this fall. So we will be forced to move everything out of here circa October, November. Everything, the house needs to be cleared out by then at the latest so that it can be touched up and cleaned up and blah, blah, blah. And everything will have to find a place at Angela's current house. All the bugs, all this chaos will be forced to find a place at Angela's house. And what we will then be forced to do from there is spend the winter doing property hunting, start this whole thing anew, keep everything there over the winter for what will easily be the most stressful, what would easily be the most stressful time period in my entire life up to that point. And then we would have to move in the spring out to a new property. So, there's a lot on the line here with this meeting on Monday, which is why it's the stopgap. And if it goes well, we can move forward as fast as I can calculate how much money we need to dump on all this stuff. So, let's see. Anthony Green says, I work for the phone company. If you text me with your new address, I can check fiber availability for my company. Anthony, I would greatly appreciate that. Anybody, all these little things of, hey, you're panicking about this thing, but I know a guy. I really appreciate that, everybody. I mean, it's a strong argument for keeping the wiggle going is just to complain and ask you guys for contacts on some of this stuff. Too bad Starlink isn't great for streaming yet. Maybe in a couple more years. I don't know what Starlink is, Braden. Queramax noting on a bug note that the Zealous Longapees he got from me are doing very well. That's wonderful. I don't put anything on the top for them to deposit eggs. They just lay them all over the screen. So I don't really have to put anything there. Any tips on Polyphaga sauceri? They like leaf litter. They like some dry leaf litter. Dry substrate if your air is humid. Moist-ish substrate if your air is dry. They've been doing really well the last 4 months for me. They really had a comeback. I kind of thought I was going to lose my sauceri, or at least see them just kind of be maimed and not do anything for years, but they really came back. Fancy Tesla satellite internet Starlink, says JoJo. And Alan asking if the Longipees are his backyard strain. Yes, Alan, those are your backyard strain. A person says, if the worst case scenario happened, couldn't you have some local bug people take a portion of your enclosure so you don't need to completely fill Angela's house? There's not really that many local bug people. To accommodate all this stuff, you need Kyle craziness amount of space to throw it into. But worst case scenario is just there's so much that could go wrong and so much that could go right with all this stuff. And anyways, it's hard to think positively in this context, in the context of everything that's going on. It's a hell that I'm kind of in myself. Obviously have made for myself with the hope that it will not always be a hell. I'm doing right now, everybody. I'm gonna recalculate the cost of the fencing for the vegetable garden, because at least getting that down is important. I'm this fencing company. This one that I'm looking at. The only one that I could get through to was maybe it's too fancy. Maybe that's why it's going to cost so much. It's got this whole online thing that you find your property and then you like use this drag and drop thing, and you can like, they basically say like, oh, we don't want to send a guy out to give you an estimate or something. We got you go ahead and you design your whole thing with this little it's not an app. This what is this? Program interface, whatever it is online, and then we'll give you a quote based on the type of fencing you select and all that jazz. So that's what I'm using here. And all right, we got 360 linear feet of fencing. This is for the vegetable garden. Let me see what this thing tells me for the we want a chain link fence. We want a residential chain link, galvanized. We want it 6 foot, and let's see how much this is gonna cost. Anywhere from $15,850 to $19,410, which is a lot, and that is a lot. That's all. That's it. William says, I will work up some plans of the various materials for you to get pricing on the bug building, starting with 30 foot by 70 foot, 2,100 square feet. That part is easily modified. My zealous laundry peas lay all over the ceiling of the mesh enclosure, just makes it difficult to clean the enclosure. Any tips? I think maybe get a second mesh enclosure, and when you've got too many of the zealous, move a couple of them to restart the colony into the clean one, and then just kind of wipe down the old one. Like, very manual, physical, in-depth cleaning. That's kind of what I've been doing. Zero Cool Ninja, hello. I'm just bemoaning fate. Again, this is for the vegetable garden. So my dad did say he would cover this as a nuptial gift to Angela and I, and that's still on the table. That's not too much more than, but a bit more than what we were originally anticipating for this. But this sucks. Everything's so freaking expensive, guys. Bugs are going to have to be more expensive. But at least, again, the thing I told Angela with all this stuff is this is not like a recurring cost. This is something we pay. We want it done. Yeah, no, prices are killer, says Loki. Chain says you got a safety net at least there. At least for the vegetable. I'm very serious about growing our own. I'm not a crazy, like, I'm going to live off the grid and stuff like that. But, like, meat alone, meat's going up so much. Just everything's going up so much. It's nice to be able to have the option to go outside, and even if it's for 3 months out of the year, be able to get enough food to make a nice, nutritious meal from your backyard. So Loki says our apartment just sent us an email saying that our rent will go up $300 a month if we renew our lease. How are people surviving? I'm not going to get political slightly. I do not care who becomes president. Fix these problems. I don't care if your party's blue or red or whatever. Fix these problems that are happening, because they're bad problems and they're the problems you should be focusing on right now. That's all I'm going to say. Don't care who it is. Don't care about empty promises. I don't care about this or that, morality, ethics, whatever. I don't actually care about that. Fix these problems. Okay? Because if you fix these problems, it benefits everybody of every size, shape, race, creed, whatever, to fix problems like this. It only benefits a very small number of people to not fix these problems. That's all I'm going to say. All right, back to complaining about other things. Political opinion, flip a coin and lose twice. Oh, I love it. Best part of inflation when you're trying to sell stuff, you feel like you need to raise prices to increase your income, but your customers have less money to spend on stuff. Alan says, when I started college, my rent was $290. When I graduated, it was $430 a month. Alan, you were living in a commie block gulag apartment. Is the hilarious thing with how much they increase rent to just be in a space. What is going on, everybody? Maybe that'll be the future of the Roach Wiggle. It'll be a very, very full of care, non-entomological chat about social